Let's switch from one LA franchise to the other. Blake Griffin is returning to the LA Clippers after a 3-month hiatus, starting with the broken hand in Toronto, a fight with the equipment manager, and then the quadricep injury that lingered on for nearly half the season. Phil, I'll throw it to you first. Let's talk about the 4-game suspension that he just committed to. Is that a bit of a hoax? I mean, apparently he couldn't even play for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's something really weird internally with that team and him. I mean, I've been worried about a guy like him forever, where a lot of his game was predicated on his athleticism. I realize he's stretching his abilities, the ability to dribble, pass, shoot. But there's just something fishy there. Him, DeAndre Jordan. It doesn't seem like there's too much talent there for that not to work. And I think something past that. Like I think it was interesting how in our other segment we spoke of, D'Angelo Russell, the other LA team, and everything coming to light. But I think everything here, there's a lot happening that's not being brought to light, and I don't know where I stand with this one. I think Blake Griffin secretly is an odd piece on that team.
Justin, I mean, how, as a Clippers franchise, do you adjust? You're a week away, 2 weeks away from the postseason. What are they going to do in terms of chemistry right now?
It's not like this is a new piece that they haven't played with before. I know they struggled early on in the season, but I don't think that necessarily was Blake Griffin's fault. It's not like he's a tremendously selfish player. You're talking about arguably the best player on the team and a potential MVP candidate here. 23 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, he makes everybody better. And last year in the playoffs, with Chris Paul injured and limited, he was the best player against the Spurs. Without him, they don't advance to the next round. And if Chris Paul was healthy, they'd probably make it to the conference finals. So this is a big-time difference maker there. I think some of the "are they better without Blake Griffin" talk and all of that is a little bit overblown. Chris Paul's been doing more than he should have to, and that's probably worn him out a little bit this season. But in terms of chemistry, there's going to be a few hiccups, but as things currently stand, they probably get the Memphis Grizzlies first round, unless the Grizzlies continue to completely go off the rails and nobody else or someone else catches them. But that's a first round bye if you get the Grizzlies. So they're going to have a little bit of extra time to figure out the chemistry.
Phil, I would say they're in a lot of ways the big wild card in this playoffs. They have the talent, but that they really haven't played together much of the year. How far can they go if they click? I mean, keeping in mind that, like Justin said, they did beat not Golden State, but San Antonio last year in 7.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the talent to be able to go. I kind of liken them best case kind of in the Oklahoma kind of bracket. I think you can have your San Antonio, Golden State, then you have your OKC, maybe Clippers, just because I think while talent-wise they can probably stand with the top teams, both those teams have large chances of implosion to me, and I don't really trust them. I like Paul Pierce, I like Jeff Green, I like a lot of their players. I think playing without Blake Griffin actually, on a weird note, allows some of your role players larger roles to get ready for the playoffs, right? So if they're demanded to step up, they've now come into that. DeAndre Jordan had a little bit larger of a role. I think they're a scary team. I think any team led by Chris Paul is going to be a tough out. But I still think there's something chemistry-wise. Maybe it's the Doc Rivers effect. Maybe, like we've said in shows past, maybe he's not quite the coach everyone hypes him up to be. I just don't look talent-wise. I believe in them, but my gut feeling says they're not meeting LeBron.
Justin, I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. We all know this. Is there any chance they get to the finals?
I don't know about finals. They're going to play the Golden State Warriors in the second round, and that's a pretty tall task. They have matched up well against the Warriors in the past, so maybe there is some possibility for them to make it a series. But I just can't see them getting through both the Warriors and then either the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just think that's too much to ask out of them, especially with not having a full season to develop that chemistry with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. I think it's integrating Blake isn't going to hurt them, but he's still probably not going to be at the level that he is when he's 100%, and the team isn't going to be at the level that they would be if they played 82 games with Paul and Griffin. So I just think it's too tall of a task, and I can't really see them making the finals.